Okay, for today's recipe, we are going to make beef stew. And the ingredients are chuck roast, which I cut up into pieces, big chunks, and fresh harvest tomato. I'm gonna be cleaning this off and get rid of this cracked skin and chop that all up. I have creamy mushroom, carrots, carrots, bell pepper, onion, garlic, potatoes, and these are rosemary and oregano. The tomatoes are here all chopped up, and some of them I peeled, and we're going to use some flour. This is probably about a quarter of a cup of flour, which we're going to put in our meat. Okay, and put this aside. And we are going to crack some peppers, black peppers, and a little bit of salt to season the meat before we brown it. Okay, we are going to use a little bit of olive oil to start browning the meat, and here's another seasoning, which is an option. It's optional if you don't want to use this, but this is Worcestershire sauce. Okay, we're going to brown the beef on all sides. Well, the meat is browning, and that back burner there is my Dutch oven with the chicken broth in it. I'm keeping it warm so that the cooking process of the meat continues when I put the meat in there. As soon as this meat brown, I'm going to put that straight to the pot. Okay? Chicken broth. That way it don't tighten up again. Okay. So as you can see, we have all the brown bits down there. That will improve the flavor of the sauce. Now we're going to add our chopped tomatoes. We're going to make a very saucy beef stew today with our fresh picked tomato from the garden. Now, what will happen to the brown bits at the bottom, this tomato will create a sauce and kind of deglaze that, and as you can see, all the brown bits are coming up. Okay, so let's move this here, turn the stove off, and I'm going to pull this Dutch oven closer. Okay, my oven is hot. My oven is ready. I have the preheating at 450 degrees. And I'm going to add my sauteed onions, garlic, and fresh tomato. Okay, so as you can see, by keeping the broth nice and warm or hot and at the back burner, the cooking process of the meat just went on. Didn't have to stop cooking it. And now I'm gonna put the lid on this. I'm gonna stick this in the oven, and we're going to prepare the vegetable. Okay, to our vegetables, we're going to season it with a little bit of fresh cracked pepper, a little bit of salt to season it, about probably a teaspoon of salt in there, and a little bit of olive oil. Just drizzle that in, or pour. Okay. Now we are just going to toss that, and I'm going to stick this in the oven as well. So okay, just pull it out of the oven. I'm going to check this for tenderness. I want to see if the meat is tender enough for me to do the rest of. Oh yes. See how tender that is? I mean, that will practically melt in your mouth. Yes, very tender. See, you could just separate it with a fork. That's perfect. Now I'm going to put all of this vegetable in here, and it's important that you put the vegetable when the meat is very tender, because if you put it before the meat is tender, vegetable tends to get a little too soft to where it's like disintegrating in the sauce. So I like to roast my vegetable, then put it last and incorporate it. And one thing I forgot to show you is when I add a little bit of this Worcestershire sauce, about a teaspoon or so, depending on your taste. And okay, I'm gonna put this back in the oven. As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it off. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's fish out the oregano and the rosemary. All we want is the flavor to be imparted in the sauce, which it did now. And we are going to discard the rosemary and the oregano. Oh my goodness. Somebody's gonna be so happy with this. Okay, let's see. Let's try the meat, a little piece of this, to see how tender it is. Obviously it is, as it just break apart with the fork. Oh my goodness. And it's just practically melting in my mouth.